Evening YouTube, hope everyone's good. So I've just been watching Danny Roscoe's live. Tommy will be free this week by the looks of it, so that's about as good a news as we could get realistically. It's going to be always a divide of trailer thought of what's right, what's wrong, or whatever. For me, like I said a long time ago, or whatever, Tommy has already done what he needed to do, basically. The government, by coming down on Tommy so hard the way they have done for a civil offence and putting him in a maximum security prison, has just attracted attention from lots of places that it would have never got attention, and that in turn has woke up more of the world. So it is what it is. Tommy knew what he was doing when he handed himself in. He didn't have to. He could have just stayed away and thought, fuck it, I'm not handing myself in for a prison sentence. He stood on his fucking square and he got the message out there, and in turn has woke up the fucking masses. So massive respect to Tommy. I hope that he puts the time in with his family and that, and puts himself and his family first for a while. It's one of them now. People have got to step up. To be fair, there has been a lot of people step up. I just think there needs to be some collaboration of some sort and push the, I'll say, newcomers or whatever, people that have recently woke up to things or whatever and are doing their bit and whatever. They need pushing to the front now. Let Tommy do things, you know what I mean? He could do things remotely from wherever he's fucking living or whatever. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to be in the UK. He's done his job. It's now everybody else's fucking part to play, and Tommy can just orchestrate things from, you know what I mean, from fucking out of harm's way. They would love to just keep locking Tommy up. They use him as a weapon to silence everybody else or whatever. It's one of them now. People have got to think outside the box. We've got plenty of communities which we can tie in. We've got pedo hunter communities, and no shortage of them. You've got all the auditors, you've got a lot of YouTubers on side, you've got lots of people on side from lots of different platforms, etc. It's one of them. We've got to use what we've got around us. It is that simple. Yeah, so all's well that ends well at the end of the day. Even the haters, do you know what I mean? We've got to give the haters a fucking round of applause or whatever and thank them for keeping Tommy's name live and active, constantly talking about him every day. Even people like, you know what I mean? Even people like Ghost or whatever. His intention is to shit all over Tommy, but realistically, every time you speak about Tommy and whatever, people just go away. They may not have even heard of Tommy. They go away, they do a little fact checking, and all of a sudden they're pulling people on side. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Now, other news, I'm just finding out that Moon, Jupiter's co-pilot or whatever, is doing her usual shit and she's attacking Jupiter again or whatever. I can't help but think, I warned you about this, Jupiter, but like, you know, you knew better. You knew better. Oh, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. I've learnt a lesson. I don't trust these people, blah, blah, blah. You fucking idiot. Your worst fucking enemy is yourself or whatever. It's one of them, innit, when you're trying to connect with all these people and make out like this fucking big Tommy supporter or whatever. People can't forget the things that have gone on. People can't forget that people like you, Jupiter, have been calling Tommy a grifter and all this shit and whatever. Your friend Wendy has been trying to convince people with Clown World and all them wankers that people around Tommy like Danny Tomo was a nonce and a paedophile based off bullshit. You've had your other mate Moon running around causing problems, chatting shit just to bring problems forward so she can then run off and make reports to Hope Not Hate and Prevent, and then the next day she says, oh well, you know, I didn't even say Hope Not Hate, that was Jupiter. And then she's trying to hang me out to dry, and she asked for the Hope Not Hate phone number. All these things can't just go away. They don't just go away just because your narrative has changed somewhat. So, like I said from day one, the truth always comes out in the end regardless. These wrong'uns can generally fool some of the people some of the time, but they can never fool all of the people all of the time. Now, to me, once you know somebody is a wrong'un, you cut them out like cancer. You don't just go, oh well, you know, as long as I know blah 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 what they're about. Why would you have shit cunts around you, realistically? Unless there's something wonky about yourself. It's not really hard to figure out, is it? There's only so many times that could happen before people think, well, are these actually a little weird creepy group that are just literally playing the fucking same game from both ends of the field? Because that's what it looks like to a lot of people. You couldn't have that many fucking Hope Not Hate agents around you and cover up for that many Hope Not Hate agents over the fucking period of time or whatever. It's just not possible. You would struggle as a fucking YouTuber to have that many people that have been working, coinciding, giving information to cunts like Hope Not Hate and grassing people up to Prevent and all that. You couldn't do that realistically. You would have to be the biggest magnet for shit for that to happen without you being included in it somehow. Now, I'm no fan of Jupiter. I think everyone's aware of that. I've tried giving her good advice many times along the way, to the point where people that I know on YouTube, off YouTube, whatever, I've literally said, you know, why do you keep trying to save Jupiter? Why do you keep trying to fucking throw her a lifeline and all that? Now, for me, the best way to expose people is to give them the opportunity, to give them the fucking chance to show their true colours or whatever. And when they keep going against good advice and doing the exact opposite and dumb shit and just repeating the same fucked up shit and dragging more and more people into it, these things show themselves to be what they are to everybody. Now, people like Jupiter will just carry on doing the same shit over and over and over. I mean, how many times have you said to me, oh yeah, I've learnt my lesson, I've had to learn it the hard way, but I have learnt my lessons, blah blah blah. How? Where? When? Realistically? When you keep doing the same shit over and over with the same people that have stabbed you in the back, and by stabbing you in the back, they're stabbing everyone around you in the back, but you just keep letting it happen over and over and over again. Now, apparently Moon and Jupiter are at war again or whatever. I've been sent a few bits which I'll have to go through when I park up at some point. I may put a little video together before, during and after, etc., just to show how stupid it looks when you stand back and look at it. Now, Jupiter will keep trying to fake it until she makes it and dragging anybody and everybody in for the ride. That is the fucking usual pattern of behaviour from Jupiter. She will always do the same shit. Now, like I say, I'm no fan of Jupiter or whatever, but if Jupiter was even a 10% decent or whatever, and not a magnet for hope not hate, and not an idiot that just gives out ammunition free to the other side to then give them the ability to go, oh look, these Tommy supporters are all vile, fucking praying for abuse to happen to children, going on about digging dead children up, racism, fucking you name it, they can come out of it. That's free ammunition. Now, if Jupiter was only 10% a decent person or whatever, you would applaud her. You would, you know what I mean? You'd need another set of hands to applaud her for the amount of fucking hours alone that she puts into YouTube. But is she doing any good, or is she just causing problem after problem after problem and dragging decent people along for the ride? Only the people around the situation can make their own minds up. To me, the writing's on the wall. You can see it, you can read it. It is what it is. For me, you cannot support, or you wouldn't want somebody like that supporting anything that's of any worth. You know what I mean? For some people like Jupiter, YouTube beef is more important than the good fight. You cannot fight the good fight with shit tactics. You cannot fight racism with racism. You can't fight child abuse with child abuse, etc, etc. Now, like I say, I have warned Jupiter many times or whatever. I think on the Mr. Rick channel, which I'll put a link to on this video, I'm going to run through a couple of premieres, etc. Maybe a couple of the one-to-ones that I've had with Jupiter or whatever, where she's literally saying, yeah, you know, I've learnt lessons, blah blah blah, hard lessons to learn and whatever, but I've learnt lessons regardless. No lessons have been learnt. But yeah, we are where we are. It's one of them, innit? All we have to do now is see what happens when Tommy comes out and whatever. I think it would be nice to try and get people upon release or whatever to, you know, tell us their story or whatever, what happened, how it went down, what they got done for, how long they got, what they had to go through, what the families had to deal with while they've been away and whatever. I think there'd be a lot of interesting stories in amongst it all or whatever, and it shows people around the situation, you know, what goes on or whatever. Now, one thing I will say is it's all good and well having these Patriot groups, this, that and the other, demos, multi-pronged attack, etc. Bang on, I've said that for years, that's what you need. There's no point all being in one group, all being behind one person and having one leader, and then they just go, right, alright, we're going to snatch that one leader and just kind of stop you all in your tracks or whatever. And they've done that a few times. They're going to keep using that fucking tactic. We need to think out the box, we need to think smarter than that. We do need to do a multi-pronged attack, and part of that multi-pronged attack, obviously to most people, is taking it beyond the problem and going to the root of the problem. And I think now at least 90% of the population can see that the root of the problem is our government. It's them that's facilitating all this shit going on, whether it be covering up 40 years plus of grooming, facilitating it where Tommy never gets a jury and they can just bang him up on ridiculous bullshit like they just have done. I've said to that DJ H or whatever, show us some examples of anybody ever going to prison for a civil offence, going to a maximum security jail and being treated like Tommy. I don't think there is any. We'll see, won't we? But for me, there needs to be support for the people that are actually willing to take the fight to the root of the problem, rather than just doing demos and doing this and doing that, which don't really get you anywhere. We need to be able to hold people to account, and I think the only people that have been able to do that and just haven't managed to get the support is CMW. Everybody right now should be in lawful rebellion. I think if Tommy's going to do anything when he comes out of prison or whatever, I mean, for me, he could go away, live his life, look after his family outside the UK. He's done his job. You know what I mean? He's done far more than his fair share. But if Tommy's going to do anything, he should really, this time round, be drumming up support for people that are willing to take the fight to the government and hold people to account. And CMW are the only people that have fucking ever done that. Now, I will tag a video that I've already put out this week or whatever, where CMW did a citizen's arrest on Sadiq Khan, Keir Starmer and others. Now, it was the CPS that have decided that it's not in the public's interest to deal with these matters or whatever, with charges that include treason and shit like that. So realistically, if big names like Tommy and anyone that's around that's got a big following or whatever, if people would have pushed their supporters to all sign up, all get onto fucking lawful rebellion, sign up, all put your complaints into the police at the time or whatever, to back up just to show that there is public interest, basically. Do you know what I mean? We would never have had to suffer any of the shit from Khan. We would never have had to suffer any, not even a scrap, not one day of fucking Keir Starmer. But instead, people chose to, at the time, follow and support nonsense like the King's Flag bullshit, followed shortly by lawful dissent, which was just a load of shit. Now, CMW have proven beyond any shadow of a doubt every step of the way that everything they're saying is bang on. Now, there's no point bitching and moaning about the law and do, you know, all this shit and letting them lock Tommy up for bullshit and all that, when you can hold people to account and not let them get away with this shit. The moment you hold someone to account, all of a sudden the problems, the dirty fucking tactics will stop. If they think they can be held to account, they won't be as brave to do it. It is that simple. You have to hold people to account. You have to deal with it on a lawful fucking way of dealing with things or whatever. And the sooner people get that in their head, the better. Because other than that, we're just going to keep doing the same shit and expecting a different result. And that is the definition of madness. It's one of them. How many things have been tried? How many people have been backed? How many people have been supported? How many fucking things are we going to do over and over and over again to just keep expecting a different result, realistically? Now, CMW, for the whole time that they've been around, have done what they do for free. They're not grifters. They've never asked anyone for a penny. And for me, they are the most pure fucking patriot group going. Why anybody wouldn't get behind them and wouldn't want to be, it's one of them. If you're going to go protest and all this whatever, you don't know what's going to go on. Would you rather be stood in the dock of a court with some sort of a defence, or would you rather just be stood there as a random dude that they're going to tie in and go, oh look, it's just another far right, blah blah blah, give them fucking 3 years or whatever. Once you're in lawful rebellion, it becomes your duty to do what it is that you was going to do anyway. It's to me, it's like having insurance on your car. Why would you choose to not have insurance on your car? If you can have that protective bubble around your fucking vehicle, yourself, whatever it is that you're doing, why would you not do that? Now, that's all I'm going to say on the matter. I probably am going to go through these bits of what's gone on today or whatever. Maybe pull out a couple of bits and put it with a couple of things what was said around the time. So, yeah. We are where we are. Look after each other. Stay safe. And catch you on the next one.